What is up, everyone? My name is Nate, and welcome to my draft analysis for Season 4 of the P4G. It's really good to be back. I never thought that this league would be coming up again, but it's been some time since Season 3 ended. 5 or 6 years, give or take, and of course I was in Season 2. That was a really good season, and everything is coming back, man. I feel so nostalgic with this league because we're going back to a tier-based draft. So if you guys are unfamiliar, it's where you put a bunch of Pokemon in tiers, and then you put out like a guideline. You need 1 tier 1, 2 tier 2s, 3 tier 3s, 3 tier 4s, and 2 tier 5s. And the 2 tier 5s need to be your Terra Captains. Love that rule that we have going this season. I'm not saying it's better. Don't start that debate. I don't need to hear it. It's just. I've seen it 1,000 times. It's tired. I'm not saying it's a preference. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying it's my preference. You guys can fight about that somewhere else. But for me, I enjoy this. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil my entire draft. And I do want to mention that you guys should go check out all of the other coaches because. It's a glorious cast of coaches. It's for glory, man. And we have the most glorious coaches in this league. So the links are going to be down below. Now, the way I like to do things, I like to have a certain set of rules that I go by when it comes to drafting because that's just how I was taught. Back when I was trying to be good at Draft League, I would say I was actually better at Draft League back in the day because I actually played the game. It's not like I just hopped on this shit like once a week like I do now and just run the shit just for nostalgia reasons. But like back in the day when I had the time to put in effort to be good at this game, there were certain things you needed to have. And I think I might have even learned this from like a 6 Foot Hacks Leo YouTube video. So if I can find that, maybe I'll throw that in the description. But basically, you need a Fire Water Grass core, you need a Fairy Steel Dragon core, you need an Electric immunity, you need a Ground immunity, you need a Psychic immunity, you need a Normal Fighting and Ghost immunity, you need at least a couple Stealth Rock users, and you need a Grounded Poison. This music is kind of loud. I'm gonna lower this. I don't know why this mix is. I didn't want to mute it. Okay, that's a little bit better. Sorry, I'm doing all this live. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but this is going to be the 100% authentic real Nate. Any mess ups are staying in. Any tangents I go on are staying in because I just don't have editing software anymore. I'm not paying that much money a month for this, and I don't feel like learning right this second how to use the DaVinci editing software that I downloaded. So eventually I'll learn it, and eventually I'll get better. But until then, we're just doing it live. We're just doing it raw. No protection. So basically, I feel like I covered all these boxes that I checked all these boxes that I like to check. I like to also have like specific breakers. I like to have like a physical breaker. I like to have a special breaker. I like to have sweepers on both sides of the spectrum. And I feel like I did like a decent job at that. Maybe not so much the special side, but like definitely on the physical side, I feel like I could say that I accomplished it. At least that they're stronger than my special sweepers. I should say that. Basically, I guess if we want to start talking about my Pokemon, we'll start talking about Primarina because that's my tier 1, right? And I think that deserves probably the most amount of time, but we can kind of go into the other Pokemon. I don't know how long of a video I want this to be, but I just want to kind of get comfortable and just shoot the shit. So we got Primarina as the tier 1 number 1 pick from me, and I'm really happy that I got it because there is nothing in a low tier league that wants to switch into a Primarina. This thing is one of the scariest Pokemon that I could think of. Like when I was looking at that tier 1, I was like, I don't want to face a Primarina. That shit is hits just way too hard, and I'm glad that other people agreed. I watched the draft stream, and it seemed like everyone was kind of on that same consensus. So good to feel validated in that terms. My second pick Oh, actually, no. I still want to talk about Primarina. I mean, yes, like all it could do. I mean, all you have to do is throw on a Choice Specs, but this shit could, you know, sweep you too. This thing's got Calm Mind and Draining Kiss now. It didn't have that back in the day, and it's got that Liquid Voice ability that it recently got a new move. Like, what's it, Psychic Noise? Is it Psychic Noise? It might be Psychic Noise, but I think there's a move out there that basically stops your opponent from healing, and it is a sound-based move, so Primarina can turn it into, like, stab water. So that's pretty cool. I think that's about it for Primarina. You know, oh, Flip Turn for Momentum. Another Momentum Pokemon. Really great for me. We're going to go and talk about Cobalion. This music is a little too hype. Hopefully this is a little bit calmer. Oh, why not this? We're going to go with this. Lake theme. That seems a little bit more appropriate. I like that. So Cobalion, I really like Cobalion because basically when I was using Cobalion back in the day, it was a lead and then a Swords Dance sweeper, and that's kind of what it did. Sometimes, occasionally, you would see Calm Mind, but normally it was, you would see a Stealth Rock lead with Taunt and Volt Switch, maybe Close Combat, and you know, Iron Head, some shit like that. And then sometimes you would see the sweeper set with the maybe Double Dance, Rock Polish, Swords Dance. I don't think it has Rock Polish anymore, so that's kind of irrelevant, but you would see like a Swords Dance, and then 3 attacks type of shit. So, but now, in the day of our Lord 2024, it's got access to Body Press and Iron Defense. So that thing now uses it takes advantage of that stupid defense stat, 129 base defense, makes it even bulkier by Iron Defensing up, and then uses a stab Body Press, which is crazy. Absolutely disgusting, and could still do all the things that it would do before. Thunder Wave, Stealth Rock, all that, Taunt, you name it. And we're gonna now talk about how Uxie pairs really well with that, because obviously Uxie, Psychic type, Levitating, goes really well with Cobalion. Cobalion being weak to Earthquake, takes the Justified Dark type hits. I'm sorry, guys. My throat is bothering me, and I'm trying to get through this video, so please forgive me. But Uxie, again, really bulky, really fast, has a bunch of utility, and could even be surprisingly offensive in some cases. Not that I like it as an offensive mon, but it does have the ability to, like, Nasty Plot, and it has that one move that boosts its special attack, and then it has a bunch of coverage. And another thing about this Pokemon is that it's really good for helping your other Pokemon set up, because it has access to Memento. So really cool there. Bunch of utility, good Pokemon. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time on Mudsdale because it's just a ground type, and it's just rocks. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to say anything about Mudsdale other than rocks, stamina, body press, heavy slam, Iron Head occasionally. That's it. That's all it's doing. That's all it's doing. That's it. So we're going to move on. We're going to talk about Cyclizar. I guess if I missed anything about any of these Pokemon and you want to, if you feel like it's something I should have highlighted, you know, let me know down in the comments below, because a lot of stuff just goes over my head. But Cyclizar, things that are really, really good about it is it gives me a normal type, you know, so now I don't get hit with Ghost Spam. I don't just lose to that. And it's fast. It's a Rapid Spinner. It's a Dragon type. My Fairy Steel Dragon Core is now complete. And it gets U-Turn. It has Knockoff. It gets coverage moves, like on both sides. Flamethrower, I think. Then it gets like Power Whip on the other side. It's just a weird, cool mon. Like, you know, I feel like normal types just have that ability to just have a bunch of coverage, and so do dragons. So this thing with Shift Gear and coverage moves could also just be offensive in a way, which I really like. I guess we're gonna talk about Muk now, because I can't think of anything else to say about Cyclizar. Alolan Muk, Grounded Poison, my Dark type, check boxes complete, and that's great. I like this Pokemon not because it provides like a bunch of utility. Like it has Memento, which is kind of nice for helping some setup sweepers. But I kind of like that it just can be, it can take a hit, you know? It's a thick boy. It's a thick pile of goop, and it usually does not die in one hit unless it's like a super effective hit, right? So, and it has a good typing, so it doesn't usually die in one hit. And it has that other ability with the berries, so, you know, it could stay around a little bit if you want it to. But I like that this thing has coverage moves, you know, it has that fire punch. I like that it can hit things really hard with Gunk Shot. This thing can curse, right? I think this thing can curse. Yeah, I don't really think I need to say anything else about it, because really, it's really all that it's there for. Dark type, grounded poison, check boxes complete. So, we'll move on to Flamigo, because that's a really cool Pokemon. I've always wanted to use this Pokemon, never have used it once. But it's got the ability Scrappy, dude. So that means that ghost types are not a switch-in. Not a switch into close combat. It has a really good dual type, you know, the flying, fighting, it's gonna hit so hard, dude. It's got a base 115 attack stat, which is nuts, and it doesn't really need to do. I mean, it's got sword stance, it's got agility, it's got liquidation. I don't think it even needs that as coverage, but it has it because it's a, you know, water-based bird Pokemon, so that's cool. Has a, you know, a move that makes sense. I really just like it, man. I like that it's got U-turn. I like that I have a good amount of U-turn on my team. Let's just take a second to like recap real quick. Primarina with Flip Turn. We got Cobalion with Volt Switch. We have the Uxie with U-turn. We have Cyclizar with U-turn, and now we have this thing with U-turn. That's like 5 mons right there, which is nuts. And if I look down below at the Electivire, I also have Volt Switch on that. So that's like 6 mons right there. One thing I do wish that Flamigo had was knockoff. The only dark coverage that it has is throat chop. So I mean, not that it really needs it because of Scrappy, you know, we don't really fear Ghost as much, but you know, it's kind of just not, it would be nice to have like a super effective coverage, I guess, and just another way to just the bonus effect of knocking off items. But I guess that's where Trevenant comes in, because Trevenant also has knockoff. Trevenant is a low-key good Pokemon, man. Like, I did not know that this thing got Sucker Punch. I don't know if this thing still has Shadow Sneak, or if it ever had Shadow Sneak. Maybe it didn't have Shadow Sneak. Maybe I'm thinking of the Pumpkin. I think I'm thinking of the Pumpkin. Is it raining? I think it's raining outside. Ooh, that's not good. My girlfriend wanted to grill outside. Oh, she's gonna be mad. We you know, Trevenant, really good Pokemon. I like that it has 3 really cool abilities. It's got the Frisk, the Natural Cure, the Harvest, the good typing. We now have a Ghost type, so normal spam is not as scary. This thing can Leech Seed shit. It can Horn Leech. It can Wood Hammer. It's coming off of a base 110 attack stat, so that is nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean? Is that the phrase? I've heard that phrase before. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, it's a good Pokemon. Grass type. You know, we got a grass type now. We got a water type. I really like that it, you know, it pairs really well with like the Cobalion, right? Too, because, well, I guess not for fire types, but you know, fighting, ground, that kind of we can kind of switch into those moves there. I kind of like that. And I guess the next Pokemon, I guess that's it for Trevenant. We'll talk about Electivire now, because Electivire is a cool Pokemon. I actually had it in Season 3 in the last low-tier league, and I even had it again in the BBR, the last league I was in, so you could say that I'm a big fan of Electivire. The one thing that I'm still waiting for it is to get close combat, man. They need to... What the... Game Freak, what the hell are you doing? You gotta get on it, man. This thing deserves close combat. There should be a... I don't understand why there's not a hashtag on Twitter right now. Yeah, so this thing's got buffed, dude. It's got the Trailblaze now. It's got the Supercell Slam, and this music is a little too aggressive for this. A little too aggressive for what the chill vibes that I'm going for. That's a little. Let's see. Give me a lo-fi. Give me a lo-fi. Yeah. Okay. Where the hell was I with Electivire? Oh, I like that it also has a good special attack stat too. Like, you know, you don't have to just run it like the physical version with Ice Punch and shit. You could, I mean, I mean, it's good. You know, why not? But I think this thing has Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Volt Switch. So you could do theoretically like a special set with this if it works in the particular week. It has a really good ability with that Motor Drive being another electric immunity. I feel like that in combination with Mudsdale can kind of prevent my team from being super weak to like electric moves. Like especially my some of my favorite Pokemon on this team, Primarina and the Flamigo, really not appreciating those electric type attacks. Having 2 immunities is really nice for me. I really like it. I think that's it. That's all I want to say about Electivire. We're gonna talk about my Terra captains next. So we're gonna talk about Lycanroc-Midnight first, which I think is probably my more preferred one of the two. At least on, you know, face value from start, because this thing has no guard, dude. A no guard Stone Edge from a Terra Rock Lycanroc, it just seems kind of nuts. Seems kind of nuts to me. The fact that this thing can go for Swords Dance, it can go for Knockoff, it can go for Sucker Punch. You could argue that let me just also go back so you can see the Terra types that I've chose for it. I chose the Grass in the Flying. I kind of like the Flying more as a defensive typing because, you know, Earthquake is scary, Close Combat is scary, and I kind of wanted to have a defensive option against those two things. So the Grass would have been good for Earthquakes, but you know, just be immune. You know what I mean? And then you don't have that fighting. What's it called? The fighting weakness, I'd say, or the neutrality. You'd have a resistance, and I kind of like that a little bit more for my team because specifically, like my Cobalion, my Muk is neutral, like my Poison type is neutral to fighting, and then I have that weakness in as well in Cyclizar. So I didn't like. I wanted that a little bit more. I don't know why I said more, but because you know you know what I'm trying to say. You guys, or maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe even I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I like the Lycanroc, you know, Stealth Rocks, potentially. And no guard Stone Edge, dude. That's all you really need. You could go for Trailblazes, boost your speed, you know, turn into that Grass Terra type, and it goes up to like 60 base power. So shout out to that. And now we got Pyroar, dude. Pyroar. What can you say about Pyroar other than it's fast and those Terra hyper voices are going to be nuts? You could throat spray that thing, you could specs that thing, or if you want to, you could go with the Terra Fire one, and you can go for Overheat, maybe do that. What is it, a eject pack? Eject button? I don't know what it is, but you know, you fire off Overheat, you minus your defenses, and get the hell out of there. Or if you want to go for Grass, you know, Terra Grass for the coverage, you know, hit those ground types, hit those water types. Some shit like a Swampert, Quagsire, Gastrodon. You know, just really good for that, for those matchups, I think. And I really want to know what you guys think, because I feel like this is the most confident I've been about one of my teams in a while. I feel the most comfortable with some of these Mons. There's some new Mons that I haven't used before, but I'm really digging the Primarina. I really like the Uxie and Mudsdale, and the Electivire for sure. I feel very reliable with some of those. Everything else I kind of haven't really touched that much, so gonna be some new experiences. But you guys let me know, and and let me know, did I do okay without the editing? Was this insufferable? Let me know down in the comments below, and if anyone has any tips for like the editing thing, I guess that would be great. Yeah, thank you so much. I will see you guys in the battle. We take on Joey week 1, so wish me luck, dude. I'm a big fan of Joey, so I know that the nerves would be eating at me. So I will see you guys when that comes around. All right, peace.